What's going on? Derek Johnson from Legendary Leads here. And in this training, we're going to go through how to set up a professional IVR system for your business. Now, a lot of different software companies have this actually integrated. We're looking to bring this into Legendary as well. But for now, I'm showing you how to set this up directly in Twilio. So it doesn't really matter which platform you use. After this training, you'll be able to go in Twilio and get this set up and automate your inbound calling. So it's a powerful feature. And for those who don't know exactly what an IVR is, it's interactive voice response system. And basically, it allows you to automate when someone calls in, it'll play them a digital menu like, hey, this is Derek from Legendary. If you'd like a free 7-day trial of Legendary Lead software, press 1, and I'll send you a link to a free trial. If you have any questions or want to speak to me directly, press 2. If you want to schedule some time on my calendar, press 3. And when a user pushes any of those buttons, it's going to actually automate the next step. So when they press 1, it's going to play them another message you can see there, and then it will send them a link to their phone as long as they're calling from a mobile number. If they press 2, it's going to forward it to my cell phone, and then I can connect to them directly. And if they press 3, it's going to send them a link to my calendar so they can schedule a call with me. So it's a powerful system. It allows you to free up your time a little bit and only speak to hot leads, because if they called in, listen to your IVR, and press 2, you know they're a qualified lead. You can also do multiple steps. You can use IVRs to actually qualify prospects on the phone. So you can have a series of these IVR trees to actually get down and qualify a prospect before you even have to get on the phone with them. So with that being said, we're going to go into Twilio and set this up. I recommend mapping out your IVR on a flowchart. I'm using Miro. It used to be the whiteboard app, and I guess this company Miro bought it out. So you can go to Miro.com and set up a free account. They have what's called a flowchart, and that's what I use to map out my IVR system. So check out Miro. I'll put a link to that as well. And then go into your Twilio dashboard. So from Twilio, this is just the dashboard here. What you want to do is actually click these 3 dots, scroll down, and go to Studio. So inside Studio is where you can create different flows directly in Twilio. And we're going to just add a new flow. And we'll call this IVR for Legendary course. And you can see they have some pre-made kind of flows for you already. So we're going to start from actually the IVR phone tree, and this gets us 40% of the way there that we need. So we're going to go in here, click next, and now we're in the flow builder. On your right here is the widget library. So this is stuff you can drag out onto this flow builder and actually use in your flow. And this is the trigger, so incoming call coming in, that's going to be our trigger. And then this first step, it's gathering input. So you can see here, right now the default is it's going to say a message, so it will say this message using a computer voice. You can also upload files, which I'll show you how to do that. So instead of say a message, you could choose play a message and then drop a URL. And then, so this is gathering input. This is our first action, and it's going to split keys or split based on speech. I found that this doesn't always work, so I end up just deleting this one. I don't like to try to split by speech, but if you do want to test this out, go ahead and play around with it. You can do some testing on your end as well. It's going to be basically the same process as our split based on keys, except you'll use different words to split it. So you can play around with that. I'm going to just delete that widget, and now our only step is going to be split based on keys. So in this, what we're looking at is the transitions tab. So anytime someone presses 1, it's going to follow this path to connect to this call. Anytime someone presses 2, it's going to follow this path and connect to this call. So this is where you can kind of play around with the options you want to do. Some of the things I like to do are send a text message. And I do like this call forward. So I'm just going to delete this one. That will be our first option there. And send message will be our second one. So if I go back to split keys, now equal to 2, I actually am going to send message 1. So that's pretty much how you split these. You go to the transitions tab, and whatever you want to happen, you would just select it from that widget. But I like to add an additional step before these as well, because right now these actions would occur, but there's no kind of notification for our user when they're calling. So I like to put in a play message step as well. So anytime you need to get back to widgets in here, you can just click this back arrow at the very top, and you do need to drag these out onto the flow builder. So I'll drag a couple of these out. And what I'm going to do is, instead of going directly to the call, I'm going to remap this now to the say play message. And then from my say play message, I'll map that to connect the call. And same for here. I'm going to remap this one from send message to say play to. And then on this transition, I'll move this back to send message. So this is 2 steps. You can have up to 9. So if you wanted more, you could basically add a new condition right here. And it's going to be 3. And we would do another say play message. So I'm going to drag one more out here and change this to the say play. And then let's say we wanted to do another text message here. So now on the say play transitions, I'm going to select that send message. So now we've got 3 options. Another thing I do is up here at this gather input step, if it's no input, so on transitions no input, I'm going to go back to gather input. So that will loop your IVR message when someone calls in. So make sure to check that out. You can play around with this after you've built it and attached it to a phone number and see, if you like how that's working. So that's basically how you can map things out. Now what we want to do is build some messages on here. So we have to actually upload an MP3 directly to Twilio. I tried this with Google Voice. It won't work. It has to be in Twilio. So we'll go down here, and what we're going to go to is assets. So let's save this flow for now. And we'll go to assets. And we're going to go to Assets Classic. Now you can see I have some in here already. Basically, you can upload any MP3 file. If it's in a different format, like M4AU or any other audio format, like WAV, you want to change it to MP3. So it's not going to work unless it's an MP3. And you'll just click this plus button to hit add. And we'll take this one for instance. Hey, this is Derek again, just following up about that Waterloo property. So I'm going to upload this voicemail drop. Do not check this make private. It won't work in your flow. So leave this unchecked and hit upload. And it's going to give us that URL link. Now this is what we'll use inside the IVR to actually connect it. I'm going to use these previous ones here just so it's an actual functioning IVR for this demo. So I've got my intro message here. And what I do is I'll pull up a notepad and map out my flow on that notepad, so I don't have to come back and forth to the assets tab and the flow builder. So we've got the intro message. You've got the press 2. This one's going to be press 1 in this flow. And this one will be press 3. So once you've uploaded all your audio files and you've grabbed the URLs to those audio files, you can go back to Studio and find your IVR. Now inside this IVR, we can replace this say a message with a play a message and actually put in our URL. And hit save. Then we'll replace these as well. So say 1, we'll put a URL in here. We're going to go to play a message. Hit save. Play a message. hit save, and play a message. And we'll hit save on that. So now we should be good. This first one is going to forward it to the cell phone number. The second one is going to send the text message we put in right here. And this third one is going to send the text message we put in here. So this could be something like, and this one could be, and then once we're done, we'll hit publish. Make sure it says flow is up to date. So we've got our 3 options here. As soon as someone pushes either of these, it's going to play a message telling them what's going to happen, and then it will do that thing once that action is done. So the incoming call is the trigger. It'll play our initial intro. If they don't have any input, it will loop. Then it will check for which input they make and split the response based on these trees here. So our flow is done. Now we just need to attach it to a phone number. So if we go back to the dashboard, we can, from this drop down, select phone numbers, and we can choose any of these numbers we want. So this is one I have an IVR set up already, but I'm going to just swap the IVR out. And this won't affect the text messaging because it's only for the voice. So your messaging will still work with whatever you have configured down here. But what we're going to do is change the voice configuration, select webhooks, and when a call comes in, it's probably on either webhook or something else right now. You want to move it to Studio Flow and select that IVR you created from this dropdown, and then hit save. Once that's done, you're good to go. As soon as you call in, it's going to start playing this IVR message instead. So I'll pull that up on my phone just so you guys can see. All right, so I'm just going to call this, and I'll put it on speakerphone.
Hey, this is Derek from Legendary Leads. If you'd like a 7-day free trial of the Legendary Leads software, press 1, and I'll send you a link to a free trial. If you have any questions or want to speak to me directly, press 2. Or if you want to schedule some time on my calendar, press 3.
So I'm just going to press 3.
Sounds great. I'm sending you my calendar link now. Just choose a time and date that works best for you, and we'll talk soon.
And there's that text message we set up in the IVR. So you want to test each one of those that you create. Press 1, press 2, press 3. Make sure it's doing what you're wanting. Once that's done, you know you got your IVR set up correctly. If you're running into any issues, make sure you go back and check each step of this IVR and make sure all the settings are configured correctly. So another thing you might want to do, you can kind of notice how there was a slight pause there between playing the message and me pressing the number. So if you go back into Studio Flow and select that IVR, on this gather input step, you can change the stop gathering time down to like 3 or 2, and you could also do stop gathering on a key press, but this usually does it. So if you change this to like 2, that's going to speed up how fast after someone presses a key will it go on to the next step. So just play around with that a little bit. Once you're all set, you've now got an IVR that'll work for you 24/7, screening your calls, making sure you're only talking to hot leads. You can qualify prospects. You can automate some of your lead generation, sending links to people, getting them signed up for stuff without even having to get on the phone with them. So super powerful to have a system set up like this. You can create multiple IVRs for multiple phone numbers. And once you have mastered this, you're pretty much good to go. You can do this as many times as you need and for as many offers as you want. So hopefully this has been valuable. I didn't want to add any fluff. I wanted to get straight in here, show you guys the system, give you the tools you can map it out with. So get Miro, go ahead and set up a free account on here. and do a flow chart of how your IVR system will function. You could also build this in, even just a paint app if you want to map it out. But find something that works for you, that's repeatable, that you can then give to others to show them how to do it, or anyone on your team can set this up for you in the future. So hopefully this is helpful. Appreciate you guys. And if you guys have any issues when you're setting this up, feel free to reach out to support@tryjohnson.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Once again, this is Derek of Legendary Leads, and stay legendary.